I remember the first day of the trial. Every window was filled with a father and his son or sons. And as I would come up the steps, they would aim the guns at me, and they would pull the triggers, and the little caps would pop, and they would say, bang, bang, bang. And the fathers, they thought this was the cutest thing. And the little guys were just firing away. Well, you know, the hair on my neck and down my back was just standing straight. It was a frightening experience.
The reporters who were there were shocked and kind of astonished at finding this situation in which it seemed that everybody, the people in the town, knew that these men had murdered this Negro boy. That, of course, was the term at the time. And at the same time, they did not want the murderers to be punished. I mean, that was the sort of the civic attitude. There was great hostility to the reporters who were, as the local people put it, making a big thing of this.
The highlight of the trial so far.
What they did to me when I was on the stand was just unconscionable. They tried to make me confess that I had conspired with others to get double indemnity on Emmett's 5-cent and 10-cent policies. When Carolyn Bryant made her testimony, I was not in the courtroom. They had me in another room. They didn't want me influenced by the witness, I guess. But when I heard the story, I knew for two reasons that was a lie. Number one, Emmett's speech impediment under stress would not allow him to get these things out. And number two, the respect that I had put into him for womankind and for mankind, he just wouldn't come off that way. When I saw the antics that were going on in the courtroom, I could tell that everything was against us. And when the jury retired to render their verdict, I noticed that the black people who were lining the walls and the backs of the room, they were quietly leaving the courtroom. And I knew then that they knew we were not going to get a guilty verdict. And I said to my party, it's time for us to go. Congressman Diggs said to me, and miss the verdict? I said, this is one you don't want to hear. The verdict is not guilty. To satisfy me, they agreed to leave. And I guess about 45 minutes away from the courtroom, the verdict came in, not guilty.
How do you folks feel now that it's all over? Roy, how about you?
I'm just glad it's over with.
J.W.?
I am too.
Mrs. Bryant,
Feel fine.
how about you, Mrs. Milam? Did you expect this verdict?
Well, I was hoping for it.
Well, the whole trial was just a farce, but the verdict was the one that I had expected to be given.
Do you feel that all the witnesses were brought into the case?
No, two of the witnesses were being held in protective custody in Sheriff Strider's jail in Charleston.
My first reaction when I saw that they come in and said not guilty was unbelief. anger, revenge. And one of the reasons that, I went back home was we had 2 guns. I just had the idea, hey, we could fight it out. My only problem was there was no gun for me. But I wanted revenge. I carried a chip on my shoulder for many years.
Just an ordinary criminal affair in Mississippi. After the trial some 5 or 6 weeks ago now, we're still receiving in the Daily Mail threatening letters from all over the United States saying that justice